this floor and on senior day against the regular season champions from Old Dominion. As we get set to go here in the 4-5 game underway with UAB, the 5 seed, winning the opening tip. And here is Anderson McCoy starting his 7th consecutive game, the preferred walk-on. That is when their season turned around, when they injected him into the starting lineup in a win at Marshall.
And they had put him in for Jalen Perry, number 21. Now Perry's back in the lineup with Zach Bryant, their leading scorer, coming off the bench.
Jeremiah Bell off the mark on his first 3-point attempt of the game. Bell had 12 points and 4 rebounds in last night's win over Middle Tennessee. It's going to be a quick turnaround for the winner of this game, having to play at 1:30 Eastern time tomorrow against either Old Dominion or Louisiana Tech. That game going on the other side of the building with Old Dominion up 3 late in the first half. And our first points of the game, first of many, I would assume, from Javon Jackson, who leads the conference in scoring.
You know he's going to take them. The question is, will he make them? And right there, that was a great start. That was dead center. And he is laser focused right now. Not a good sign if you're a Blazers fan.
Shot clock under 10. Here's Jalen Perry. That was short. Mac Targay got a hand on it, tipped out of bounds, and it'll go to UTSA. That was a great sign on that Jackson jumper, because in the last game that UTSA played, Jackson was 2 for 15 from the floor. Keaton Wallace was 2 for 14 from the floor.
So it can be done. You can stop those guys. Now, the question is, are they going to have both of them 2 bad games in a row? Probably not. So you think at least one, maybe both snap out. A lot of steps there, but I'm going to call a foul on the floor.
Okay, Anderson McCoy getting called for that foul. We'll see how long Robert Eson elects to keep Zach Bryant on the bench here to start this game. They put McCoy into the lineup at Marshall when they were coming off 4 consecutive losses. Here comes Bell. Nice little Euro step and the bucket to tie things at 2.
It's a great step through by Bell, but a really poor pass by Etienne Bior.
Etienne Bior getting the start for Nick Allen, who is expected to play after missing 2 games with a toe injury. There's Keaton Wallace, the left-hander, with the little floater.
So already the cold streak, so to speak, snapped, at least early. Jackson and Wallace both hitting their first shots.
Great sign for UTSA.
Oh, great
and a steal. Bior with the save to Wallace, and here comes Giovanni Nicolau.
Oh, he carried that ball, yeah.
Late whistle.
Yeah,
Nicolau, I think, thought he was going to get away with it.
He almost did. Darren George said, hey, you know what? It looked like he traveled. He said, wait, I have a whistle. I can blow it.
There's Robert Eson in his 3rd season as head coach at UAB. They won that game at Marshall. Then they went to Western Kentucky and won. Then they got into Pod 1 play, went to Southern Miss and won. So that was 3 straight wins over the top 3 seeds in the tournament.
On the road.
On the road, and then they beat the regular season champions in this season finale, Old Dominion. So this is a team that could win the whole thing this week. 4 games in 4 days. Perry missing wide right.
But if I'm game planning against Robert Eson's Blazers, I'm going to make them shoot from the perimeter. And so far, that's all they have gotten. They haven't gotten anything going to the basket or in the post.
There's a perimeter shot, and another one coming home for UTSA to roost. Keaton Wallace. Games, by the way, are available to you via Stadium, Old Dominion and Louisiana Tech, on our Stadium over-the-air channel. And then the 2 night games will be the same thing as Lewis Sullivan misses. And Bior running the court. Got it blocked from behind by Sullivan. And here's Zach Bryant into the game for the first time. Sat the first 3 minutes. Taven Love traveled.
The Blazers out of sync, but they're also playing a little out of character. They're settling for jump shots. We talked about dribble penetration being the key to stopping them. They haven't really attempted to try to get to the basket off the dribble yet.
Just 1 of 5 from the floor for Robert Eson. And good news for UTSA as Nick Allen checks in for the first time after missing 2 games with a broken toe. He suffered in February.
I don't think I'd show up for this job with the brothers.
I certainly would. There's Jackson fading away.
Oh, boy.
Now, he didn't get to play in the conference tournament a season ago. He tore that ACL right before the conference tournament. So he's got something to prove. And the duo with all 9 points so far for UTSA, Jackson and Wallace.
See, good things happen, though, as Zach Bryant, the star, inserted into the lineup, and already being assertive. Of those guys that drive, he is the best at driving the ball to the basket without charging, just power dribbling and a little nifty moves, and he gets himself all the way to the rim, and he's a strong player as well.
Oh, I love his game because he can take you off the dribble, throw down the acrobatic dunks.
Yeah, man.
He can use the backboard to his advantage with reverses and nifty lay-ins. But you also have to be in his face because he can be a really good step-back jump shooter at times as well.
Yep, he can shoot with range. That, as a team, they're just an average three-point shooting team, making about 6 a game. But Bryant is the guy that gets it going for him.
He missed the second free throw. Sullivan trying to track it down. He's on the deck for it. And UTSA able to pry it out of there. Then Nicolau got bumped by Bell. And that'll take us to our first media timeout of the night with UTSA off to a fast start. The Roadrunners with a 9-3 lead.
But your team is different when they're not on the floor.
Absolutely.
Things tend to fall apart. But they hold it all together because they like to facilitate. Both of them are very unselfish. They defer to these two guards, but they can score as well.
Speaking of scoring, Keaton Wallace is on fire right now. 3 for 3 to start this game, 7 points. And UTSA has its largest lead here at 8. UAB's got to be careful right now.
Yeah, they're teetering on something awful if they don't get it reined in soon.
Zach Bryant missing the 3. Lewis Sullivan got his hand on that offensive rebound, but it goes out of bounds. That's back-to-back times that Sullivan looks like he's had an offensive rebound, but
couldn't hang on. But you know, Chris, to me, UAB settling for three-point shots is exactly what Steve Henson wants in terms of defending that team. And then secondly, Steve Henson couldn't ask for a better start from his 2 stars that are stroking it from the perimeter so far.
Yeah, Jackson and Wallace are combined 5 for 6 to start this game. Wallace finally missing on his 4th field goal attempt. Working it around the perimeter. Let's see if UAB can get it inside. Taven Lovin likes to drive it. He lost that on the way in, and it's UTSA ball, but a couple officials conferring here, and this is going to be changed back the other way. Tyler Kumpf and Darren George, 2 of our officials got together, and I'm not sure who that was off of. It was tough to tell.
To me, Lovin looked like he lost that, but nonetheless, they retain possession.
Our crew of Darren George, Craig Murley, and Tyler Kumpf here, the 3 officials. On court B is Mac Targay hits the 3, just 25% on the season, but they think he's going to be able to make threes in his final 2 years at UAB.
And you like that shot, or at least I do, because it was wide open. The other threes have been contested.
Lovin did a good job of getting his hand on that, or else Wallace was going to have a wide open corner 3. Nick Allen saw him open in the corner, tried to rifle it out there to him, but Lovin pokes it out with 16 on the shot clock.
We mentioned Fronin and Nicolau being glue guys, but Allen is really the gluiest of glue guys because he does a lot of little things in the post, things that don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but as a coaching staff, you appreciate very much.
Shot clock dwindling. That drew rim and Fronin the rebound.
Second chance opportunities will hurt you, especially when you have a couple of snipers on the floor.
Jackson a second time. All net.
Case in point right there. You have to rebound the basketball if you're the Blazers, and you certainly need to contest. As it's clear to me now, and it was probably clear on those first 2 shots that each of these guards have taken, that they're locked in today.
Lovin driving right through Jackson, and it's an offensive foul.
There is a high level of concentration that is difficult to really explain. But when you look at Jackson and Wallace right now, they are there. That is as pure as they come from downtown and then watch him anticipate where Tavon Lovin's going to be, meets him on the other side of the screen, and absorbs the contact. And that is not easy, giving up several pounds to a much stronger Lovin.
There's so many white shirts in the painted area there. I mean, they really are trying to force UAB to take outside shots.
They're daring them right now. And UAB is not the greatest three-point shooting team.
1 for 4 to start. That three is good from Adokie Iyaya. And that's the first point from UTSA that Jackson and Wallace aren't a part of. Iyaya was just 9 for 40 from three-point range this season, so everything's working so far for the Roadrunners. Tyreek Scott Grayson missing. Lovin gets a second chance opportunity for the Blazers.
Blazers, they did get that ball, but they don't seem like they're reacting to the ball as fast as UTSA.
Bryant's going to get back to the free throw line with 12:55 to go here in the first half. Zach Bryant was preseason All-Conference USA, and they handed out the superlatives earlier on in the week. He made the third team. I mean, this is a guy that he's got first-team talent, no question. And he'll be there probably as early as next season. He was on the freshman team a season ago.
Yeah, certainly will be preseason All-Conference going into next year. One of the better returning players.
By the way, over on Court A, a game you can watch on Stadium, Louisiana Tech leads the top-seeded Old Dominion by 3 at halftime. And the winner of that game gets the winner of this one, as UTSA gets it back up 10. The two other quarterfinals to follow tonight, North Texas and Western Kentucky on Court A. And we've got Marshall and Southern Miss on Facebook here on Court B. Shot clock under 10. Jackson into Bior, and a late block by Gay, but it went in anyway.
Wow. It is just raining rainbows and sprinkles right now for UTSA. Everything is going their way.
They're 8 of 12 from the floor. It's an 8-1 UTSA run. Scott Grayson stepping through. Jay missed it, got it back, and scored it.
And that's really the first bucket that you can think of where they got the ball right at the rim.
Jackson, another three. Held the release, he thought it was good. Bryant saves it into Gay.
Great hustle. One thing about this UAB team, though, they are as gritty as they come. They don't care if they're down 10 early, because they just chip away, keep playing the way they're supposed to play, and good things happen.
That was a great pass by Zach Bryant to get it into Gay, who drew the foul. And that'll take us to a break in the action with 11:30 to play in the first half. UTSA has been in control.
But hey, who can blame them? I'm saying thumbs up too.
Well, UAB fans don't like to hear that.
Yeah, right.
Down by 10, Tavon Lovin.
Smoked one there, Chris. He was point blank.
Yeah, he kind of rushed it, but bailed out on a late foul call.
Yeah, shot it under the goal, but it was just him in the rim. But again, it seems like UTSA is a little quicker to the ball. Positive things are happening, and right now the Blazers can't. You know, they got a little bit of bad luck going on, but plenty of time to turn things around.
And that is Jackson's brother, Jalen. So, Jalen, hello. Thanks for watching.
What's up, Jalen?
Is off to a great start tonight. As a Conference USA basketball fan, I'm so excited that we get 2 more years of him. Just a sophomore.
I know. Along with Zach Bryant for UAB, number 1.
Jalen Perry.
Wallace as well.
One of the seniors on this UAB team. Jalen Perry's upped his game of late. So you see a lot of seniors do. That one poked out by Bryant. He's upped the intensity on the defensive end. 11 minutes to go. UTSA up 8.
Well, you certainly get a sense of urgency. I remember when I was a senior, you start thinking about your final games. Then when you get in the postseason situation, you think, man, I don't want this to be my last game. And you get past that. I don't want this one to be my last game. So then you get even more locked in.
Perry locked in on Keaton right now. Keaton Wallace. Shot clock to 2.
No
That
way.
one goes.
EIA. Wow.
And they're going to take a look at this to make sure he got that off in time. That would be back-to-back threes on 2 shots from EIA. He was just 9 of 40 in the regular season shooting threes. It looked to me like he got it off.
He did. But you have to look at it, though. We don't have anything in our replay in terms of time element, so it's hard to tell. But you know one thing, that was a tough shot. Hotly contested by Scott Grayson.
Haven't seen anything where you can.
There we go. Here's the clock
Here. Ball. Yeah, absolutely out.
With a full second left on it still.
So this is the largest lead of the game now for UTSA at 11 points, 22 to 11.
And if EIA is going to get into the act, there's no chance for UAB. You have 3 guys knocking down threes now.
He was only averaging 5 points a game, and he's got 6 already. Just 9 minutes and 20 seconds into this game. What does UAB have to do, Tim, to get back into this thing?
Take their time, take the ball to the basket, which is their strength.
There's
right
Bryant.
there.
Oh, man.
That'll get them going, and then get matched up better on these threes. It takes a whole lot of communication, though, because especially when you're guarding Jackson, runs you through a series of screens, and if not just you, the guy guarding them, but your teammates have to help you, talk you through it, hedge when they need to, show when they need to, and just get things done, but you have to do it as a team.
Well, they force a turnover, and Jalen Perry with the left hand. Back-to-back buckets for the Blazers.
Exactly right, but that starts the defensive end. The defensive intensity has picked up a little bit. They've gotten themselves driving to the basket, which is their strength.
Wallace getting a screen out high from Allen. Kicks it out to Nicolau. He missed it. Another guy that can shoot the 3, but is under 30% on the season. Not as good of a shooting season as you would have thought that Nicolau would have had, but he is a shooter. UAB a chance to go on a little bit of a run here. They've scored 4 straight. Perry used the head fake. Bounce pass to Bryant. Thought about it, but now resets with 10 on the shot clock. Perry will take it. Oh, that was halfway down.
Got swirled. Tough break. But again, you know, UAB has already chipped away at the lead. That shot right there could have really made it just a 2-possession game, and we still have a ton of time in this ball game.
Bad pass from Nicolau. It was almost a turnover. Allen short on the 3. Bryant the weak side board.
Jackson's been on the bench, but he's over at the scorer's table trying to restore order, so to speak, back for the Roadrunners.
It's a 7-0 run for the Blazers as Lewis Sullivan hits the 3.
You gotta love Sully if you're a Blazers fan. Solid performer, big time shot at a big moment. We've seen that before from him.
Great emotion from the UAB bench and their contingent of fans behind the bench, as they are right. Beautiful area. Facility here where the Dallas Cowboys practice. Bryant got his hand on it, and it was out of bounds. Shot clock at 17.
You know, the rims seem a little different too, almost like a double rim that you would see out in the
double
playground.
rim.
Yeah, I don't like that either. Come on, Dallas Cowboys. Give me the single rim.
Might as well put a little chain link net on it too.
Right.
Bryant, oh, how was he able to get it and lay it in? He's so fast. That's why they call him Scooty.
Chris, you said like maybe 5 minutes ago, how do they get back in it? That's how you get back in it.
And in just 3 minutes, a 9-0 run.
Did not take long.
Jackson off balance, gets it to go, and the foul.
Degree of difficulty about an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. Jackson making it look easy.
Watching the Conference USA quarterfinals here on Facebook, presented by Yahoo Sports. Adrian Rodriguez checking in. Another look at this. Bryant, he was straight up. He did not like that call, obviously.
Yeah, but you know what Bryant was doing that's very subtle that referees pick up on? He walked into his space. Even though he's got his hands up and he looks like he's appearing like he's retreating, but he's actually walking into a space, not giving him a place to land. It's a savvy veteran move, but officials that time weren't buying it.
So now the lead back up to 5 after UTSA stops that 9-0 run. UAB's made 5 of its last 6, and Sullivan's going to get to the free throw line. Well, UTSA is led by double digits for a lot of this first half, but UAB is starting to find its offensive footing, and we've got a good game here in the 5-4 game, just as we expected. Kristen?
Guys, I've got to tell you that I've found my footing. I just want to let you know.
So I also think it's interesting, Tim, a team like Marshall that ended up in that second tier, they got a chance to reel off a bunch of wins in that second tier and get momentum coming into the conference tournament, and that may end up helping them in the end.
And I believe they finished with a tie record, but they were locked into that 6th seed.
Right, they finished tied with the second best record in the league, did Marshall, but they couldn't jump up, obviously.
Yeah, they got locked out of the top 5, which locked them out of a bye, which meant they had now, if they want to win this tournament, they will have to win 4 games. Awfully difficult to do.
4 games in 4 days.
Yep. They got 1 already, so now it's 3 games in 3 days. Beat
Nobody's done
last
that
night
in the Conference USA tournament since Houston back in 2010, so it's been almost 10 years. Devon Jackson missing, but the putback. Garbage man, Adrian Rodriguez, cleaning it up.
Very nice move, a savvy move indeed, because Gay was in position, but Rodriguez somehow got around him, able to stick that back in, just sheer hustle.
Step back Bryant, bricked it, and Wallace is running right at Bell.
Yeah, he gets it going up court quick.
And Jackson leaked out and was wide open.
And the thing about Jackson and Wallace, they compete in terms of both of them wanting to do well for each other, but they want to do well for the other guy as well. You know what I mean? They try to help each other. They share the ball because they both care about each other. Very good friendship.
Free throws coming for Lewis Sullivan. Jackson now leading all scorers with 13 points, so he's more than halfway to 25.
And right there, this is just putting on the accelerator. The defenders have to dive in to guard him. And now it's a tough closeout to Jackson, who's spotted up the sniper from downtown.
5 of 9 from the floor. He's made a couple of threes. Sullivan at the line. UAB went on a 9-0 run to cut it down to 2 points. UTSA has responded.
UTSA, specifically Javon Jackson. He came in and got the three-point play off the shot. Then Wallace drove it, and he got a traditional 3 right there.
Got the roll. Would have been goaltending anyway if that had popped out because somebody grabbed the net there. As Lovin checks back in for UAB, Sullivan takes a seat with 6:45 to play here in the first half. The only foul trouble at this point is Byron Fronin for UTSA, who's on the bench with 2 fouls. Wallace. Rodriguez got a hand on it, but
going the other way this time.
Yes, it is.
Rodriguez is in there scrapping.
Well, he's a big body, 6'7", 240, a redshirt freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Doesn't play a lot of minutes, but gets into just about every game.
Yeah, played 28 games. Getting significant minutes here in the first half. So you wonder he's getting these minutes because Allen, obviously not 100% with that broken toe, did come in and play a few minutes. Allen played 6 to be exact.
And they're over the limit now, so 1-1 for Maktar Gay. He hits the first. He's a good free throw shooter, 75%. In fact, he's the best free throw shooter on the team.
So we mentioned that this tournament is wide open because Old Dominion as the #1 seed is a vulnerable one if you ever seen one. Even when they win by a small margin, but certainly capable of winning this tournament by those small margins. Western Kentucky is an up-and-down team. We've seen them be awful. We've seen them be really, really good. UTSA, they got probably the best backcourt. Marshall always got a fighting chance. And Southern Miss, as we talked about, Vegas thinks they're the team to win it all.
Jackson again. 3rd 3, and he has 16 points.
The guy's got everything but the tights and the cape. I mean, he's an actual superhero at times.
Has been in the first half. Bryant over to Lovin. And a traveling violation.
Jackson caused that by helping and reaching in, and really, if it wasn't a travel, it would have been a jump ball. Take a look at Javon Jackson in action. Simple dribble handoff. Bell tardy on the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, what do you
and
do,
it cost
Tim?
him. Well, Bell was right and chasing him through the screen, but he's got to be a little closer. You have to physically stay attached to him. Once you get away from him, even a couple of inches, it's the difference between being able to contest it or not.
Jackson again. Got it again.
And again, he's not attached, though. Not attached. That dribble handoff is killing them right now. Woo.
And he's got 19 points.
Yeah, I'd like to amend my thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, was that?
I think you should too.
That was a first half question, right? 25 in the first half.
My goodness.
Lead is back up to 9 after the back-to-back threes. Bell tries to answer with a long two, way too long. Here comes Jackson, watch the pull-up. He got fouled.
It's almost all you could do, though, right? I mean, Jalen Perry wasn't about to let him just splash another one in his eye, but a little overzealous. Too much contact, and now Jackson's going to get 3 free throws.
He has a chance at a first half season high if he makes all 3 of these. Missed the first. He had 21 against Charlotte back on January the 24th in one half. This is a different team with Javon Jackson. Missed the first 3 games of the season and didn't start the first 5 games that he played in. So really they were 8 games where they didn't have him full strength. And they're 15-8 since then. Lead back up to 11. Jackson has scored 8 consecutive points. Just when UAB had cut it to 3.
Just when you thought it was safe to get back in the water.
UAB trying to respond again.
This is what I would do, too. Go to the low block for the 5th-year senior.
There's a lot of contact, and Sullivan's going back to the free throw line.
I would tend to put Rodriguez on Sullivan, a little bigger, stronger player than Bior. But Sullivan really is a handful for whoever would guard him in a UTSA uniform.
Rattles home the first free throw, and Bior's going to take a seat. Nick Allen coming in. We talked about it at the open. Missed the last 2 games with a broken toe, and they really missed him. Got blown out by 33 points in the regular season finale by Southern Miss, and that was an important game. They could have got up to a 2 seed had they won.
You know, and it's those types of things is why I think Southern Miss is favored by the boys out west, because, you know, they beat Marshall by 50 this year.
Oh, man.
So when they get it going, they get it going.
That's a travel that'll send it back to UAB down 9. You're right. I'm looking forward to that game later on tonight that you can see right here on the Conference USA Live Facebook page. Marshall, a rematch with the Southern Miss team that beat him by 50. And I think the winner of that game has a great chance to win this tournament.
Yeah, I agree.
And the winner of this game is going to have a good chance as well. Targay tipped it up in the air a couple of times, but Allen comes out of there with it. Now over on court A, Louisiana Tech has opened up an 11-point lead on the top-seeded ODU Monarchs.
There you go. It's a 9, was that an 8-1 matchup there?
That would open everything up on this side of the bracket. If that score holds, the winner of this game gets Louisiana Tech in the semis. Mac Targay is wide open. Too strong. Lovin may have gotten away with a push-off, but saves another crack at it.
Last year, same thing happened. Middle Tennessee was the #1 seed, and the 9 seed Southern Miss came in here and upset them and really knocked them out of the NCAA tournament as well.
Sullivan, too strong. UAB just 2 of 10 from three-point range. Allen running the floor. Took time to gather and reverse it on in. The lead back to 11.
A little leak out right there by Allen. And great find once again by Jackson.
Wallace tipped that out of bounds with 14 on the shot clock. Now, Wallace hasn't scored since about the 15:30 mark, but he's still making his presence known on the defensive end. He hasn't had to score. Javon Jackson was
a direct correlation between Jackson being injured in the beginning and UTSA getting off to a bad start.
With Tim Scarborough, I'm Chris Hassel. Kristen Balboni roaming the sidelines all over the place. That one, I don't think got off in time, and it went in, but it's not going to count. I don't think Tyreek Scott Grayson knew that he didn't have any time.
Yeah, he didn't. But that's on everyone, though, especially where it's not very loud in here right now. Communication is so important. When I was a senior, my coach would get on me even if someone else did that because I was one of the seniors on the floor. And it was my responsibility to make sure we collectively are doing what we're supposed to.
Scott Grayson, just a sophomore. And UTSA trying to extend on its lead. It would be the largest lead of the game if they score here. Rodriguez walked. Big playing time in the first half, 7 minutes already.
Yeah, but Allen's back in there too, so they're playing both of them together.
Dave Nicolau with a little bit of pressure on Zach Bryant. Three-point field goal shooting has been the difference for UTSA. 7 of 15, while UAB is 2 for 10. That's a deep 2. Daryl Morey's not going to like it, the GM of the Rockets, but we're not in Houston.
Tyreek Scott Grayson, as a sophomore, he's going to be one of the better players in this league next year. That's my prediction.
Foul on Mel Pearson. Mark on Facebook wants to know if fans are able to walk back and forth between games or if you have to buy a ticket to one game in particular. You can go to both. As Rodriguez comes out, he kind of tweaked that knee a little bit.
Let's see what happens here. Rodriguez, take a look at his feet.
Kind of got tangled up with Pearson.
Yeah, and his left knee kind of just buckled a little bit. That's going to be a backcourt violation, but no, they let it keep playing.
Well, that means it wouldn't have been a backcourt violation. Bryant missed it. Lovin cleans
True.
it up.
Great point, Chris. So he didn't have to save that ball because the officials were saying that ball must have been deflected and he had a free reign to pick it up. Otherwise, they would have blown a whistle the second he touched it.
Yeah, coaches, I'm sure, continue to try to teach the guys, even if you know you touched it, even if you know that it should be a backcourt violation, it's not always going to be called.
Don't assume it, yeah.
Good pass here against the zone.
Yeah.
Scott Grayson recovers.
An extended 2-3, looks more like a 3-2. Effective there. Let's see if they go back to it.
And Grayson's going to get to the free throw line. They also get a 2 for 1 with 44.4 left in the first half. UAB is down by 7.
But also what that zone does is it gets people in the spots where those three-point shots were taken. And it cuts down a little bit theoretically on some of that dribble penetration, which is creating those three-point shots along with those dribble handoffs.
One more shot for Scott Grayson. And a chance to cut it to 5 for, as well as UTSA has shot the ball 58% from the floor, 44% from three-point range. They haven't been able to pull away.
And they have, and then UAB comes right back, but that's the sign of a well-coached team. The Blazers have a lot of character as well. They're resilient.
Every time they get down by 11, they follow it with a run. 6-0 run here.
They don't let it rattle them.
They Nicolau.
Giovanni.
And the shot clock is off, so this should be the last possession of the first half for UAB.
If they could get a bucket here, they would have to be feeling pretty good about themselves overall. They withstood a haymaker punch from Jackson and Wallace. They're within striking distance.
Perry missed the three, the tip, no, and that's going to stay with UAB with 3.7 on the clock. See what Robert Eason has in his bag of tricks here for the underneath out. These are tough to defend.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a lob to the basket after the series of screens. Instead, they get a pin down. Oh, he traveled.
A break for UTSA as Jalen Perry walks. So they dodge a couple of bullets there. 2.8 to go. UTSA has it out near midcourt.
Nicolau and Jackson can shoot it from half court with a degree of
Hey, Timmy got a monitor in his lap.
Wow, wasn't expecting to get into the action.
Well, at least it wasn't your computer. It was just one of the stadium monitors. You can write that
off. Got my mouse though. I got my mouse.
Stadium will write that puppy off.
Thank you.
It's all good. 1.2 left, so now UAB has a chance. Bryant from half court.
How about this?
Oh. Wow. You got a pretty good look.
Sure did.
Obviously focused on Javon Jackson. He said, we got to do a better job guarding him. You're going to see us play more zone. And he said the message was just that we got to chip away possession by possession, Chris.
Thank you, Kristen.
You get the feeling that's what happened over on the other court, too. Jeff Jones's team was down double digits. And that that was a 2-point game when we got there. 3-point now as we sit, but still tons of time left.
And Bryant gets it to go, plus the foul. That's big. Good start to the second half for the Blazers. And you said it in the first half when they were down 11. He's got to be taking it to the rack.
Not just him, though. I mean, they settled for so many, not even open jump shots in the first part of that game. Dug themselves a hole, but this is more UAB Blazer basketball with this particular group. These guys drive the ball, and they're very good at it.
Converts the three-point play. And the lead is 4.
So to Nicolau on the point, Jackson and Wallace playing away from it, trying to get those guys open. And it's choose your poison right now. And now they're playing that zone that we talked about.
Fronin, that looked real easy. Too easy.
Fronin, we had a game earlier, a couple games earlier this year. The talk was Fronin doesn't even take shots when they walk into an open gym. He's just a guy that's reluctant to shoot. He just cares more about getting other people open. But that time right there, making them pay for playing that zone.
To your point, that was his first shot of the game. Back target, yay! A little indecision at first.
I don't know if it was indecision or savvy, because he looked everybody off and got to run to the rim.
And Byron Fronin a little shaken up, so he comes off. Nick Allen checks in. Let's take a look at it again.
Maktar Gay off the baseline. Great penetration by Perry. And it was a great job. I think he was going to pass it to Wallace. He read the defense and said, hey, you're not going to really guard me. Take that.
Jackson, 3. And here comes Bryant. Running 1-on-2. Euro step, got it blocked. And here comes Jackson the other way.
The match up.
Draws the foul. And he goes down holding the right ankle.
Knew he fell hard after the contact.
He grabbed that right ankle immediately. You see that huge brace on the left knee, tore that ACL last year. 21 points in the first half. The leading scorer in the conference.
Let's hope that's just a tweak and that he can come back and keep playing.
He is up on his feet and retying that right shoe.
Yeah, and you hate to see anyone get injured, of course, but when a guy who's having an impact on a team and a game the way he is, you really hate to see that. 21 points all in the first half. Now he's walking pretty normally, a little gingerly.
He's going to stay in the game.
Oh, absolutely. Tough kid.
Well, at least it looked like he was going to at first.
Yeah,
and
he wanted to. And Darren George, the official, stepped in and said, because we stopped the game, you got to go out for at least a possession.
So Adokie Iaya, who hit a couple miraculous threes in the first half, is back in there for UTSA. Working against this zone. Allen got an open look and rattles it home.
Got a couple of zone busters out there. Fronin sliced it, and now Allen diced it.
That's tough to take at the UAB with Jackson checking out.
It'll scare them out of playing zone, I'll tell you that. That's what coaches do. They go zone even when they don't like to. You hit a couple of threes or a couple of shots, all of a sudden they start rethinking things.
Jalen Perry, no good. Gay the rebound, and he's fouled on the way up.
Gay has made a solid impact here, particularly in the second half early.
8 points and 4 rebounds for the game. It is not a shooting foul.
And he was trying to go up, I thought.
Ryan inbounds it to Bell, and around the horn they go. Sullivan likes that corner three. UAB has never led in this game. Allen again missed it, caught his own air ball, and Sullivan ties him up. I don't know if that ball was tipped on the way up,
or if it slipped. Yeah, I don't know, because it didn't seem to be a lot of resistance after Bior dropped it off. I mean, hate to Bior, watch him drop this pass off, beautiful, and there's really no one there. No one's even jumping with him. I think it just slipped out of his hands.
And he caught it.
Wow. So to come up empty on that one, you know, this game comes down to 1 or 2 possessions. That's the one you're going to think, man, wish we'd had those 2 points.
Shot clock under 10. Bryant for 3. 1 point game.
Buckets. And I knew that was going in because when Bryant gets that step back rhythm that you talked about earlier, he is dynamite.
And this is as close as UAB has been all night.
They're staying with that zone, though, to their credit.
That one no good. The first 3-point miss for EIA, and a foul on UTSA. Zach Bryant with 12 points now. This is his first 3 of the game.
Basketball is such a rhythm sport. Just ask Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation, right here. Step back from downtown, buckets.
Now a chance to take the lead for the first time in the game. Bryant out to Sullivan for 3. And Rodriguez the rebound.
And who would have thought that with 16 minutes of change to go that the Blazers would be looking at a 3 to take the lead? I think I would have, because again, we talked about how resilient they are. They took that shot in the mouth and it hurt, but now they've shaken it off and they're back to playing UAB Blazer ball.
Ooh, that was nifty from DeNicolau.
DeNicolau looked everyone off as if he was going to pass it, but he still kept control, was able to drop in a nice finger roll.
And Javon Jackson headed to the scorer's table, presumably to check back in for the first time since injuring his right ankle. Sullivan one-on-one, backing down, spinning on Allen, and he's going to get to the free throw line on the other side of this timeout. 49-46. UTSA has the lead, but that lead has points. It's that right ankle that he rolled. And that big brace on the left knee after tearing his ACL a little over a year ago. Didn't get to play in the conference tournament as a freshman. Sullivan missing the first free throw.
Well, at least he didn't run completely out of his shoe like Zion Williamson did at Duke a few weeks ago. Man, I've never seen a shoe get obliterated like that. That was amazing.
Zion's going to return for the Duke Blue Devils in the ACC tournament.
You know, I was talking to Coach Pete Gillen, who works for CBS. Last night we were sitting at courtside watching the games. And he was talking about Zion, and he said he thinks that if he was handling Zion as a family member, as Allen kisses that one off the glass, or as a person that had an influence in his life, he'd tell him to shut it down. And so I said, Coach, if you were coaching, if he played at Virginia and you were coaching, would you sit him down? He said, nah, certainly not.
Well, Maktar Gay makes it a 1-point game.
He said, but from the perspective of the family, you can understand. But from the perspective of the coach, yeah, you want that. And they have a chance, let's be honest. If he's on the floor and he's healthy, Duke's had an excellent chance to win the national championship.
Best roster in the country, no question, when they are healthy. Gay getting on the floor for it, and Sullivan comes out with it. Here comes Bryant.
No numbers, though.
He'll pull up for three. And Bell chases down the offensive board. Perry in the corner. First lead of the game for UAB.
Second chance opportunity. The energy level from UAB much higher this half. They've done a better job on Jackson and Wallace as well.
Wallace still hasn't scored since the first 4 minutes of the game. Scored 7 quick ones. Hasn't scored since. And it's UAB ball.
How about this development right here? The resiliency of the UAB Blazers. First, Gay from downtown. He knocked down a couple of those because they're not guarding him. And then Jalen Perry, they left him open. Nobody puts baby in the corner. And when they do, he's going to splash it.
It's him over on court A. Louisiana Tech's up 4 with 2:13 to play on the top-seeded Monarchs from Old Dominion.
Monarchs got back in it, but man, they're up against it now. And as the games go, when you're a 1-8 and you're the one and you're down that late, the pressure, you start to feel it as the players and the coaching staff. So, man, we got to survive this somehow. And then that other team starts to feel upset-minded and feel like they have a chance.
There was a technical foul called. We'll try to get to the details on that, but things beginning to unravel for UTSA. They led by as many as 11 several times in the first half.
How about those shoes Sullivan is wearing? Every color in the spectrum.
And it's on Steve Henson, who must have said the wrong thing and maybe trying to charge up his team.
Perhaps.
Census is starting to lose its mojo. Boy, they had such a great first half.
That's a great way to put it, though, right? They had everything going for them. The ball was bouncing in. We saw a ball get blocked and still went in the basket. But the mojo is gone right now. We'll see if they can get it back.
UAB's up 4 now. Bryant left his feet, and that's a travel. Left his feet, then passed it. He was saying, look, it got deflected, so I can go and pick it up if it got deflected.
I don't think it did.
Must not have.
Keaton Wallace has to find, like Stella, he's got to get his groove back.
So does Jackson. A hop step and a jump on through, and oh boy, I don't know how that went in. Rodriguez and Lovin both had their hands on it, and it goes in.
Now they're going to deny full court Zach Bryant. Not going to let him touch it.
Gay, another 3. This one's short, but he runs down his own rebound.
Another loose ball. And remember, we said how UTSA was getting everything. Now it's the Blazers who seem to be coming up with all those loose balls, getting second chance opportunities.
Bryant finds the cutting Lovin, patiently scoring.
I said it to start this game, whoever beats the Blazers is going to have to play a very good game for 40 minutes because they're just a tough out. Resilient, well-coached, veteran group. A lot of guys, even Bryant as a sophomore, tons of minutes logged already.
They took a lot of body blows in that first half and just hung in there. And now up 4, but got to get back. Rodriguez beat everybody, and the foul.
Another great delivery from Jackson from about 60 feet away.
It almost looked like he was cherry picking, but he just got behind the defense. You got to get back.
He was there, and they were back too, but they weren't talking and matching up. So you got bodies back there, but nobody's really accounting for who they're guarding. And as a result, Rodriguez kind of sneaks a couple of points there.
Can't convert the 3-point play, and UTSA remains down by 2. Over on court A, Louisiana Tech with a 2-point lead on Old Dominion, 55 seconds to go. That would open things up for these two teams. The winner potentially getting Louisiana Tech, and the top seed may be knocked out in a few moments. We'll keep you posted on that. McTargay backing down Rodriguez. And that's a shot clock violation.
Tariq Scott Grayson, that's the second bucket he scored after the shot clock. He said, man, what do I have to do?
So with 11:53 to play in this one, UAB has a 2-point lead. As we give you a live look over on, not only do we not have commercial breaks, we can give you a live look into the game on the other side of the curtain. And Old Dominion has taken a 1-point lead with 3.3 to go. We're going to go double box here for the final 3.3.
What a shot by Ahmad Caver. Daquan Bracey had a chance to ice the game, missed the front end of a 2-shot foul, made the second one, made it a 3-point game.
We'll bring that game back to you.
2-point game, I guess. That was a lead taker, right? That shot.
Yes, it was.
Wow.
We'll bring that back as soon as they're back out of the court. They're still in a timeout right now. UAB, meantime, with a 2-point lead. And here we go. Louisiana Tech down 1, 3.3 to play. Daquan Bracey, an open look, and just missing. The 1 seed survives by the skin of their chinny chin chin.
You know what, Bryant's B.J. Stiff may have been the most valuable player in this league, but they could have easily given it to Ahmad Caver. And that shot right there was the biggest one of his career since his season forward. Let's see if that can catapult them all the way to the final game now.
Well, they're in the semifinals now, and Old Dominion will face the winner of our game. 1 free throw away from being tied with 11:06 to go, and I think a lot of those fans that were over on that side of the Ford Center are going to be making their way over here.
They're starting to file over here now.
Watch the end of our game.
And I tell you what, we talked about Old Dominion, we talked about Jeff Jones, and when they were down, what did we say? So that game's not over yet. And it took them to the last second, but they got it done, and now they advance as the #1 seed. We talked about the thin margin. They survived once again, but that's what it takes.
That's exactly why this tournament is as wide open as it is.
Yep.
Lewis Sullivan gets double teamed. Got it poked away, and then threw Fronin back. That's going to be a foul on Sullivan. He ripped him down.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration there, and really just assertiveness. Sullivan fighting for that ball. Tied at 57 here for these quarterfinal games so far. Everything we wanted him to be and then some. Sullivan there.
They might take a look at this, Tim. I mean, does that warrant in your mind a flagrant one? I think
it does. Look at this. Not. Although I will say this, that wasn't a basketball play. That is not something that
could be the issue here.
Do. Yeah. So with that, you can understand why they're looking at it. In a game this tight, I would say that, lean on the side of caution and not give them a flagrant. Just let them play on.
I think they're going to give them a flagrant one for this.
They probably will, but I wouldn't.
We'll see. Tied at 57. While we wait, we want to take a look at our Yahoo Sports fan of the game. That young lady, a few different shades of hair. Obviously a UTSA Roadrunner fan. Orange and blue, rocket it. A little Diet Pepsi, 20 ounce.
Now that's a fan,
away we go.
That's a fan when you're willing to wear crazy stuff and root for your team. I love it.
She's watching these officials like a hawk as they review this. Our officiating crew.
And they should get together. They should talk about it. I would hate to make this. That's 2 free throws in the ball. That's big in a game this tight.
I think that's what it's going to be, but I'm just going off of what I saw. It was the officiating crew of Darren George, Craig Murley, and Tyler Kumpf try to come to a conclusion. And Tyler Kumpf is coming over to explain to us what the call is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the results of the last play is a flagrant one.
It is indeed a flagrant one, so it's upgraded to a flagrant one.
You're right. I didn't want you to be right, but I knew you were right.
UAB fans didn't want me to be right either.
Yeah, because it impacts the game. I mean, this is a very close game. 2 free throws in the ball. It was already a common foul, though.
Yeah, you can't grab him and throw him back.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's not a basketball play. That's not a motion, and Fronin missed them both. Wow. But they do get the ball. So really, you have to say that it doesn't impact the game because no harm really. It's just the same result that you would have had if it was a common foul.
And unlike a technical where you can choose your best free throw shooter to take him, it has to be the man that was fouled to take the shots. And Fronin is 19 for 46.
I was going to say, otherwise they would have chose someone else. Almost anyone else.
42%.
Like, Balboni, can you go out there and shoot one?
Absolutely. She'd shoot better than that. Jackson for 3. Too much. Perry on the box out.
Yep.
And he was held by De Nicolau, so a foul on UTSA.
Do you know what's crazy, Chris? They, earlier in the year, the hooking was something that was deemed a flagrant foul too. But now they've kind of tapered back on that, and I think that's the right thing to do.
You talking about the hook and the hold?
Yeah, the hook and hold, and I think they are going to go look at it. Let's see.
It was Jalen Perry was close to a hook and a hold here.
Yeah, they're going to look at it.
If we see any...
Oh, so you think Perry hooked up?
I think it's possible. It's a lot of times it's hard to tell without a few different looks who is actually doing the hooking and who's doing the holding. That's why they're penalizing this.
Yes.
Look at how it's close, but
both of them are.
Yeah, I see.
That is interesting.
I think you got to stick with the foul on the court. I don't see a hook and a hold from either one of those guys.
This is postseason, guys. I don't like when these types of things impact the game. And just like the flagrant, which by rule it was a flagrant foul, I would like to see them pass on that. And I would like to see them pass on this. But to me, both of them hooked by the definition of that rule.
Take a look at it again here at what the officials are trying to decipher. A foul was called on De Nicolau, who has the arm there. Yeah, you're right. I think if there is a hook and a hold, it would go on De Nicolau.
I agree.
But I'd
like to see a play on here, but
I would too.
Again, I think it's going to be a hook and hold.
Well, let's see if you're 0 for 2 here, Tim.
No. I wouldn't be 0 for 2, but I'm telling you what I wish, and I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Okay.
So I'd be 0 for 2 on my wish list, but my accuracy on what it is would be 2 for 2.
Now the officials spread out and explain it to both coaches, and then they'll come over and talk to us. Yep. Tyler Kumpf is getting his steps in because he's coming over to tell us what the call is. Hook and hold, flagrant one on De Nicolau.
Yeah,
how about that?
Deja vu all over again.
And he kind of had a smirk on his face. It's the second time in a minute he said to come over and explain it.
Yeah, he literally said same thing. Unnecessary contact. But he didn't say hook and hold. That's interesting.
He did at the very end. He did say hook and hold.
Okay,
as he was walking away.
Okay. So 1 of 2 there.
Yeah, so we're on flagrant free throws. We're 1 for 4 here.
Yeah, right.
Advantage UAB because UAB made the 1, and now they have the basketball, which they would have had anyway on the common foul on De Nicolau that was originally called.
Right. Upgraded.
So if we can
stay away from the reviews a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, please. 10:15 to play in this game. UAB is trailed by as many as 11 several times. Tyreek Scott Grayson got it. Rainbow, lefty, smooth and pretty.
Wallace and De Nicolau, poor communication. They were switching all exchanges. Wallace stayed with his man. De Nicolau thought he was going to switch. So that little bit of space, and it's a fine line again, but all that was all that Scott Grayson needed to get an open shot.
De Nicolau answers on the other side with a runner of his own. He has 6.
There's so many little micro decisions that you have to make, and sometimes you have to make it in tandem with your teammate. If they're not communicating, it doesn't take much space for good basketball players to score.
Perry guarded by Jackson.
Good help.
Lovin with 7 on the shot clock. Perry pops it and hits it.
Man. That was tough. Fronin had a great defensive performance right there. He was there, he took the foot angle, and Perry just shot in his eye anyway.
UAB was 2 of 11 in the first half from three-point range. They are 6 of 9 in the second half and have their largest lead of the game.
The but you know the Roadrunners have another punch that they're going to ball up and swing before this one is over.
Well, Wallace hasn't scored in close to 30 minutes of game time as Perry drills it. Deep two.
Jalen Perry off of a pin down after that splash from 3 on the other wing.
And a steal.
Wow. Things starting to unravel here for the Roadrunners.
It'll stay with UAB, 26 on the shot clock, and Jalen Perry, the senior, coming up huge the last two times
good
down.
defense. I mean, Fronin is right there, Fronin, but Perry able to knock down a tough shot. Gives him a little 3 goggles, and then the very next play, pinned down screen from Sullivan, chased him through it.
That was pretty much it.
And Old Dominion, too, last year. They were
Old Dominion is the 2 seed.
Yeah. So, but, you know, it didn't surprise many people that Marshall won it because, much like UAB, they're a tough out in these one-and-done situations. Marshall got hot late, veteran backcourt. They were able to knock down shots and win. But it helped them that middle got knocked off by Southern Miss in that first round in the quarterfinal.
Jeremiah Bell missing. Almost a miraculous tip by Taven Lovin. UTSA has it down 7. Got to find a way to get Jackson and Wallace involved again. Wallace, again, he hasn't scored since about the 15-minute mark of the first half. And Jackson only has 2 points in the second half after 21 in the first.
Jackson's going cold, too, so it's a bad sign for the Roadrunners.
We've reached a break in the action here with 7:48 to play. UAB enjoying its largest lead of the game, 66 to 59. It's time now to look at our Yahoo Sports over the last 3 weeks. They've beaten the top 3 teams in this tournament, the top 3 seeds in their last 3 weeks.
They seem to play better away from Birmingham as well, although they did get Old Dominion late last week. But other than that, they've had some really head-scratching losses at home.
Yeah, they went to Marshall on a 4-game losing streak, but they lost 3 consecutive games at home.
Yeah.
Then they beat Marshall at Marshall, go to Western Kentucky, win that game, go to Southern Miss, win that game. So that told you that this is a team to be reckoned with that could win this whole thing. Scott Grayson, no, and that's a silly foul by Taven Lovin. That's the 6th team foul, so the next foul is going to send UTSA to the free throw line.
You know, a few games ago, Perry got benched in favor of McCoy. And Perry is back in the starting lineup now, number 21 for UAB. He's had a solid game, 6 of 11 from the field. He's knocked down a couple of threes. He's got 15 points in 27 minutes and 6 rebounds as well.
Most points he's scored in a game since back on January the 19th against UTSA. Finally, Keaton Wallace is back on the board. His first points since 15:47 in the first half.
Yep. 1 for 6 from downtown. But when he takes it inside the arc, pretty solid. Hasn't missed a shot.
Bryant used the head fake. Jackson flew on by, and Bryant knocks down the 2.
But you have to respect Bryant's ability to stroke it from 3, and that's how he got the birdie Jackson.
That one kicked out of bounds. It will stay with UTSA as Fronin checks back in.
Much more flow to the offense of UAB here in the second half, too, and that's why, you know, when you get into a nice rhythm, those shots start to fall. Staying in that zone, too, and that's helped him.
Wallace way too strong. Bryant saves it into Perry. UAB is on a 13-4 run. They took their first lead of the game near the midway point of the second half. There's Perry again. High rebound from Wallace. Here comes Jackson. Oh, Perry got his hand in there. He stole the cookie from the jar, and he's running. Lovin jump stop, blocked from behind. UAB ball underneath.
So you say there's cookies. I want some. Great steal by Perry to ignite the break. They couldn't convert, but that turned into a 3-on-2 the other way. That was a 3-on-2 in favor of UTSA.
Ball was loose, but Sullivan able to get it over to Scott Grayson. Cut off.
Bump though.
He walked.
No. I mean, he certainly dragged his foot, but he had a whole lot of help from the contact.
Kind of had nowhere to go and then started leaning.
Yep. Good job by the officials to not bail him out, though, because he did kind of dribble himself into jail. They're standing that high 2-3.
Oh, and it's
Nice
blocked.
defense.
Bryant's got it. Look out. And he gets to the line. How about that UAB defense?
They get out in the passing lanes, and if you're not careful, they'll even block your three-point shot. And then those loose balls, man, they get them and they go. UTSA is the road runners, but it's the Blazers right now getting it done in transition.
Zach Bryant to the line. He is one of 4 Blazers in double figures. He has 15, Perry with 15, Sullivan with 15, and Gay with 11. On the UTSA side, just 1 player in double figures. That's Javon Jackson with 23. A team effort, a balanced effort, and that is how UAB has been getting it done here late in the season.
Oh, it's all in for him.
Largest lead of the game. It's up to 9 for the Blazers.
Certainly an urgent situation here now for Steve Henson's group.
Jackson for 3. Oh, that was big.
In a case of emergency, break glass.
He had just 2 points in the second half until that bucket. So he went 15 minutes with just 2 points. Picks up 3 on 1 shot.
Isn't it amazing how some players understand the game situation and can deliver a bucket when their team needs it? That was well needed right there.
Oh, what a move in midair by Zach Bryant.
Let's see if they send the bat signal back up for this superhero Jackson again.
Got the screen, takes it, fouled. Oh, almost hit it.
It's the second time Perry has fouled Jackson while attempting a 3-point shot. Jackson with 3 more free ones coming up.
And what took him so long trying to get him back in the game here in the second half? His last 2 possessions have been totally different from the first 15 minutes.
You try to let the game play organically. You're not going to run a set for him every time. But then in those key moments, you say, all right, here, it's time for you to deliver. This is your moment.
He's top 5 in the conference in free throw shooting at 84%. Makes the first 2, and he's got 1 more.
The over and under, or the thumbs up, thumbs down. He's well over 25 now. 28.
Tim.
Balboni again.
Yeah, Tim and I went thumbs down when Kristen posed that question. 25 or more.
I'm just going to start cheating off of Kristen's page.
Kristen, the only one with the thumbs up. So a mini 6-2 run, all from Jackson.
We said it was an urgent situation bordering on an emergency, and Jackson has delivered here. Last 2 possessions, 6 points.
Sullivan posting up, now screening for Perry. Shot clock to 4. Sullivan loses his footing, out to Bryant. Head fake, gotta shoot it. It's short, but the offensive rebound to Scott Grayson. That's got to be devastating for a defense, does it not?
It is. It certainly takes your legs, and it takes the life out of you as well. But you know, it's far from over. It's just a 5-point game. Keep your focus.
Bryant got it in the foul.
Jackson got beat on a flex cut, and he's telling his teammates, you got to help me get through that screen.
What a great pass from Jalen Perry.
Yeah, it was.
And Zach Bryant will have a chance to complete the three-point play on the other side of this timeout. Bryant at the free throw line, trying to convert the three-point play. Make this an 8-point Blazer lead. Well, he's over 20 points now. 21 points for Zach Bryant. 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Jackson does not get the roll.
Wow.
Now maybe you start working some clock here if you're UAB.
Certainly do. They're going to walk this up. They're going to try to get a high percentage shot late in the possession. This is where a veteran team, a well-coached team, can put you away. Oh, they turn it over.
Jackson the steal and the lay-in.
And that's what happens sometimes. You know you're taking the air out of the ball, so you relax and you throw a lazy pass. And it leads to a run out. Pick 6.
Jackson now with 31, Tim.
Once again, sensing the moment, though, right? He needed a bucket. He got it.
Oh, Sullivan, big boy basketball. Gets to the free throw line. I love Perry just running over and helping him up. And he's back to the free throw line where he's 9 of 10 on the night.
Yeah, he's really put in the work and the hard hat. Second chance doesn't go, but he gets the free throw. He has a chance for 2 of them.
Missed that. Season highs in free throws made and attempted. 9 of 11. Has 15 points and 6 rebounds. UTSA down 7, 2:30 to go. Winner to the semifinals here in Conference USA. Wallace a deep 3, way off the mark.
Barely hit the rim, if that.
He's 1 of 9 from beyond the arc. After such a great start, 7 points in the first 4 minutes of this game for Wallace.
He got ice cold ever since.
And a bucket here would make it really tough. Here comes Bryant. Too easy.
And Jackson had a decision to make, and he got caught in no man's land. He didn't want to leave a shooter, but he wanted to provide some help. Ended up not doing either, really.
Blocking foul on Bryant. It'll be 1-1 for Jackson.
Watch Bryant go left. DeNicolau's expected some help. He kind of got an ole from Jackson. He reached in there, really didn't affect the shot. The athleticism of Bryant too much for UTSA.
Jackson earns a second free throw. 1:46 to go. UAB now with a double bonus. Shooting 2 the rest of the way, but not a great free throw shooting team. Just 67% in the regular season. And a timeout with 1:46 to go in a 7-point game. So, if you're Steve Henson, what are you telling these kids that earned a bye but are...
As we saw on our live look-in, great job by our crew to get us that bonus action.
That was fun. Western Kentucky, North Texas about ready to tip over on court A. We've got Southern Miss and Marshall coming up here on Facebook 30 minutes after this one's done. Bryant to Scott Grayson.
The pressure doesn't pay off, but at least they didn't let them run the clock out.
That one tipped out by Wallace, and it's UAB ball.
Well, it starts with the full-court pressure, but once you break that initial attack, now it's an odd man rush, like hockey. And Scott Grayson, the lefty, able to finish.
How about the aggressiveness by UAB there? Up by 7, and not just waiting around to be fouled.
Yeah, unafraid to push it in transition. But when you get pressed, what you want to do is make sure you score out of it. You don't want to just necessarily break the pressure. You want to get a layup to discourage them from pressuring you again.
Perry gets the roll on the free throw. He's just 59%.
What a slugfest this was, though. UAB has proven that they are a resilient group that is really tough. So now they're going to reset this here. Make them inbound again.
And the clock didn't start.
And that was unfortunate because it didn't start. DeNicolau had a free roll all the way to half court. Now he's going to have to dribble it up with the clock going.
Jackson. Wallace will lay it in, plus the foul.
I can't believe they committed that foul, but honestly, I thought they let him go. Then we heard a faint whistle, stopping the clock. Let's see if we can take a look. Scott Grayson let him go, and they're right there. The swipe down late. Got to let them be. You're beat right there, and I understand Wallace did show him the ball, so you tend to swipe at it, but a no-no foul right there by Scott Grayson.
Got it to 8. Pressure, Sullivan. He's a good free throw shooter.
And a good ball handler for a 4 or 5 man. Able to bring that up under pressure.
1:08 to go, 20 on the shot clock as that one was tipped out. UTSA might play this out here.
They are. Definitely don't want to foul now when they're 10 on the shot clock.
Sullivan with 3 on the clock has to hoist from 30 feet. Oh, he was in and out.
He dribbled back 3 feet before he shot it.
I don't think he knew that the
he
shot
certainly
clock was
didn't.
winding down. Jackson missing, Gay the rebound. And that should just about do it.
So this is about to set up a slugfest tomorrow. It's going to be a physical matchup. The Blazers hang on here. Again, Old Dominion surviving. It's going to be a physical game because most games are with Old Dominion, but these Blazers are for real.
And it's going to be a rematch. The regular season finale for Old Dominion and UAB. These Blazers beat Old Dominion by 14 on senior day.
A little bit of celebratory faces conversation on the bench for UAB in green. A lot of long faces. A long ride back to San Antonio for the Roadrunners.
Jackson got shoved from behind by Gay. Our Yahoo Sports play of the game, Zach Bryant.
And one. Yep, in traffic. Got that flex cut late. Jackson couldn't beat him to the punch. They fouled him, and he was able to convert, and that put him up by 7 right there, and really they haven't looked back since.
It's kind of amazing they were here in an 8-point game with 34 seconds to go, and UAB's on top because of the way that UTSA controlled that first half.
Well, again, they swung a haymaker early. I mean, UTSA looked like they were going to run away with this game, but the only thing that we knew and we said at the time is that
So we'll try to do the same thing.
and it's doable, especially in a year like this year where the top seeds aren't head and shoulders above the rest of the pack.
More free throws coming for UAB as DeNicolau fouls out. That's going to give Steve Henson some time to talk to his bunch.
Third year for Steve Henson. Success, in my opinion. They're going to end up with double-digit losses, but you know the future is bright for this program. Steve Henson's done a great job. His crew, his staff.
Just keep getting better every season. They had 5 wins just 3 seasons ago, then up to 14, 20 last season. But this season was even better. They had never earned a bye in the Conference USA tournament. They did so this season with their best Conference USA season, but Keaton Wallace just didn't have it tonight. 1 for 9 from 3-point range.
He had it early, but not late, not after that first few minutes. But again, that's Steve Henson's staff. Mike Peck, Scott Thompson, Adam Hood, Director of Basketball Ops, Jeff Luster. Lester, I should say, Jeff Luster, but Jeff was on that prior staff with Brooks Thompson.
Jackson will take a lay-in, and he blows it. And Perry gets the rebound, and we'll see if they can just run it out here. A reach-in foul called on Keaton Wallace with 17.7 to go.
What a difference. The way this game started, you would have thought nothing could go wrong with UTSA, but this really kind of sums up what the second half of this game looked like for Javon Jackson and his team.
He did everything he could. 35 points for Jackson. 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
First team all-conference as a sophomore, and he'll be back next year. Get himself 100% because he's not. The giant knee brace, still kind of rehabbing that, but a special player.
Wallace in trouble. Jackson double team. Way short. Dior has it. Dribbles out for 3. And that is just about it. 0.5 left. Robert Eason's like, all right, we got to get out of here because we got a quick turnaround. It's a 1:30 Eastern time game tomorrow with Old Dominion.
Yeah, good point.
Well, Jackson had already taken off the brace. He shot that with the brace down his
shooting, though, did it? As long as he's got breath in his life, he's going to put it up.
85-76, UAB wins. And look at Robert Eason, a little premature celebration here. There is still 0.5 left.